Here are the video solutions for Pearson Edexcel Functional Skills Maths Level 2. This is section A, which is the non-calculator section from past paper 3. So let's jump in at question number 1. So Kate is making some pastry. She will use 20 ounces of flour, and she's got a recipe that uses 8 ounces of flour with 3 ounces of butter. So the ratio of flour to butter, according to the recipe, is 8 to 3. Now, if Katie had 16 ounces of flour, that would be nice and easy. We can just see we are doubling 8 to 16, so we would just double the 3 and we get 6. But the problem is, well, we know the ratio is 8 to 3, we've got 20. So how many times greater than 8 is 20? Well, 8 times 2 is 16, and so then there's a difference of 4, which is half of 8. So we are multiplying by 2.5 here. So 20 is 2.5 times 8. So if you're not sure how to get there, it's just, well, what is 20 divided by 8? That will give us the multiplier amount here. So I need to multiply the other side by 2.5 as well. And 2 times 3 is 6. Half of 3 is 1.5. And 6 plus 1.5 is 7.5, so 7.5 ounces of butter to 20 ounces of flour. So that's the answer, 7.5 ounces. Question number 2, work out the value of 4x plus 3 when x is 2. Well, if x equals 2, then 4x equals 4 times by 2, which is 8. So if it's 4x plus 3, it's therefore 8 plus 3, which is 11. Okay, here is a formula. A is 5 root b. That means 5 lots of the square root of b. So that is going to be 5 times by the square root of 16. The square root of 16 is 4, and 5 times 4 is 20. So the answer here is 20. Work out 5/8 of 320. So when you're working out a fraction of an amount, you take your total, you divide by the number on the bottom, and then you multiply by the number on the top. 32 divided by 8 is 4, so 320 divided by 8 is 40. So the final calculation is 40 times 5, or 4 times 5 is 20, so 40 times 5 is 200. Kanya makes and sells jewellery items, so the ratio is earrings to bracelets to necklaces in the ratio of 13 to 24 to 15. So what fraction were bracelets? Well, quite often you need to, in this level of maths, you need to think about turning ratios into fractions. Now the denominator of these fractions is simply the sum of these numbers. So 13 plus 24 plus 15. 7, 12, carry 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 24 out of 52. Now 24 out of 52, that can be simplified. 24 over 52, we have two even numbers, so that is 12 over 26. Both numbers still even, so we can divide by 2 again, so that is 6 over 13, and that cannot be simplified any further, so 6/13. Question number 4, does the payment plan save 8% of the normal price? Well, the normal price is £240. The payment plan is £36 plus £15 a month for 12 months, so 15 times 12. Well, what is 15 multiplied by 12? 2 5s are 10, carry 1, 1 2 is 2, plus 1 is 3. Put in a 0 because this is the 1 of 10, 1 5 is 5, and 1 times 1 is 1. Add these together, we get 180. So it's £36 plus 180, so 180 plus the 36, 6, 11, £216. So if you use the plan, it's £216. So therefore the saving is going to be 240 take away £216, which is £24. Now £24, oops, let me just scroll down a little bit. £24 is 10% of the original amount, not 8%. So does the payment plan save 8%? So the answer is no. Saving is 10%, not 8%. Use estimation to check your calculation for the cost of your payment plan. Well, it was 36 plus 15 times 12. Let's just write that down. So £36 plus 15 times by 12. So we could call £36, call it 40, and 15 times 12, we could just say 15 times 10, which is 150. So 40 plus 150, 190. So 15 times 12 is a bit different from 15 times 10, so we're going to be a bit out. So it's £190, and what did we calculate it to be? 216. So it's in the right ballpark. So we know we've probably got that answer right, and that takes us to the end of that section. Here are the video solutions for Pearson Edexcel Functional Skills Maths Level 2. This is section B, the calculator section from past paper 3. So question number 1, the scatter diagram shows the temperature at different heights on Mount Everest for one afternoon in May. Describe the relationship shown in the scatter diagram. So what we can see is, well, probably the best thing to do is draw a line of best fit. So let's just get a line up and running. Now, if I ask 5 students to do a line of best fit, they might all come up with something slightly different, but they might all be equally valid. A line of best fit cuts through the middle of all of the data points, trying to keep more or less an equal number above and below the line. So let's just give that a go. So this would be a terrible line of best fit, as would this, but this somewhere like that is, that's pretty good. Now, the fact that I can draw a line of best fit tells me that there is correlation, and the line is going down, so therefore we can say that there is negative correlation. And we could put this into context as well. The higher we are on Mount Everest, the lower the temperature. As we increase in height, we decrease in temperature. So it might be worth just putting that into context as well, rather than simply saying it's negative correlation. But it's only 1 mark, I'm sure negative correlation on its own will be fine. So base camp A is at a height of 5,400 and camp 3 is at a height of 7,500, and we want to work out the difference in temperatures. So we want 5,400, so it's 5,400 meters. Let me just make a note of that so I'm not scrolling up and down the whole time, and 7,500 meters. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our line of best fit so that we can work out approximately what we would expect the temperature to be at a height of 5,400 meters. So we're going up in 2,000, so each sort of half square is 1,000. So this is 4,000, 5,000, 6,000. So from 5,000 to 6,000, each faint line is an increase of 200 meters. So if this is 5,000, 5,200, 5,400 is here. So what I will do, I will just go down and see where it hits the line. Unfortunately, my line is rather fat, but if you do this using a ruler and a sharp pencil, you're more likely to get a bit more of an accurate answer. So I'm going down here at 5,400, it hits the line about here, and I'm just following this line across. So for me, that is about -4. You might have got a slightly different answer, but as long as you use the same method, it's going to be absolutely fine. Here is 7,000, here is 8,000, so 7,500 is 2, 4, right, halfway down this, in between those two lines there, and it hits the line of this line of best fit about here. So again, it's quite hard because, like I say, it's quite annoying that the computer drew such a thick line there. So for me, it's just 1 less than -15. So I'm going to go for -16. So what's the difference between -16 and -4? That is a difference of 12 degrees. So that's what we're after. The difference in temperature is therefore 12 degrees. Question number 2. Jenny is an editor for a newspaper. So the article states in 2019 there were 300 people per square kilometre in the UK, and Jenny knows that in 2019 the area of the UK was this and the population was this. So here, what we've got here is the population density, the number of people per square kilometre. So how many people are there? Well, there's 66.9 million. Now what I would do is I would write 6.9 million as a proper number, so that's going to be 6, 6, and then 6 digits after this, so 9, and then 5 zeros. Remember, 1 million is 1 with 6 zeros. So that is the number of people divided by the number of square kilometres, which is 242,500. That's what you need to type into your calculator, and that comes to 275.876. So we can say that that is approximately 276 people per square kilometre. So is the statement in the article correct? Well, I would say no, because 276 is not 300. Okay, moving on to part B. Use a reverse calculation to show a check of your answer. So we got this answer of, let's go along with the 276. So we've got 66.9 million divided by 242,500 equals 276. So if I take 276 and multiply by 242,500, what do I get? I get 66,930,000, and that is pretty close to 66,900,000. In other words, 66.9 million. So for me, that's close enough for me to know that this answer is definitely correct. Okay, so we want to work out the total cost of petrol and see whether it's more than £100. So he's driving 520 miles and his car uses a gallon per 28 miles. Well, how many 28 miles are there in 520? So the answer is, what is 520 divided by 28? And that is 18.571, and that is gallons. Now we know that 1 gallon is 4.55 litres, so we've got 18.571 gallons, so we need to multiply this answer here by 4.55. Now, so that I'm not doing any rounding, this number here in full is sitting on my calculator, so I'm just going to hit times 4.55, and I end up with quite a nice number actually, which is 84.5 litres. Now we know that petrol is 128.4 pence per litre, so that therefore means it's 84.5 multiplied by 128.4 pence, and that comes to a total of 10849.8 pence. Now we want to turn this into pounds, so divide by 100, move the decimal point 2 places, so it's going to be 108.498 pence. Now pounds and pence, we only have 2 decimal places, not 3, so we're going to have to round to 2 decimal places, so the 49 is going to round up to 50. So it's £108 and 50 pence. So the scale here is 1 to 20, so we need to draw this 20 times smaller on this grid here. So we're drawing the front elevation, so this part here. So 100 divided by 20 is 5, so 100 centimetres will now be 5 centimetres, and it's going to have a height of 130 divided by 20, and that is a height of 6.5, so from the very top. So let's just draw in my 5 centimetres along the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's going up to 6.5, and remember this is to the very top here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.5. Now if this is 100 centimetres across, then it's going to be 50 to this point here and 50. In other words, it's going, instead of it being 50 and 50, it's going to be half of 5. So it's going to be 2.5 across, so 1, 2, 2.5, so that point there is that point there. So all we need to do now is just work out, we've worked out the total height, but we need to work out this height. Well, actually, yeah, this height here, 110 centimetres, that probably would be a bit more sensible. We don't really need to work out the height from here to here. So 110 divided by 20, and that is 5.5 centimetres. So I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 to there. Again, much easier if you use a ruler. And just connect to that vertex there and draw a straight line across, and we are done. Moving now on to question number 5. So what we want here is an estimated mean. Mr. Barker estimates the mean mark to be 12. Okay, well let's work out what we estimate the mean to be and see if Mr. Barker is correct. Now, what we've got here is a grouped frequency table. We've got groups of 1 to 5. So 20 students got between 1 and 5. Well, what can we say about their total number of marks? These 20 people might all have got 1. They might have all got 5. What we have to do is just assume that all 20 it got exactly halfway between 1 and 5, which is 3. That's the best thing we can assume here. So we need to work at the midpoint of all of these. 1 to 5 midpoint is 3, 6 to 10 midpoint is 8, 11 to 15 midpoint is 13, 16 to 20 the midpoint is 18. So if we've got 20 people that got 3 marks, then that means there's a total of 60 marks here. So here we're going to do frequency times the midpoint. Remember, we're after the mean. The mean mark is going to be the total number of marks divided by the number of students. In this case, it's 250, which is the total of the frequency column. So here we're just working out the estimated total of these 50 students, or these 20 students, or these 120, and we're assuming that all of them got halfway along this data range. It makes, in my opinion, makes a big difference if you understand why we're doing these calculations, but if you just know to do a midpoint column and a frequency times the midpoint column and then divide this total here by the total frequency, then that will also work. So what we're doing here is frequency times the midpoint. 50 times by 8 is 400, 120 times 13 is 1560, 60 times 18 is 1080, and this all adds up to 3100. So the estimated mean is our estimated total number of marks, which is 3100, and again this is an estimate because we're assuming that every student got halfway along this range. So 3100 marks divided by 250 students gives an estimated mean of 12.4. Mr. Barker estimates the mean mark to be 12. So, well, it is an estimate. Yes and no is acceptable, really, as long as you justify it. I mean, we've got 12.4. You could say Mr. Barker is correct because 12.4 is close to 12. Or you can say no, Mr. Barker is not correct because 12.4 is not 12. Either will be fine. But I think, given that we've made a lot of assumptions here, for example, as I said, we're assuming that all 20 got 3 marks, all 50 got 8. Now, in reality, that's unlikely. So to get 12.4 instead of 12, I mean, it's about the same given the number of massive assumptions we've made. So I would say yes, because 12.4 is close to 12. Okay, so let's take a look at this one here. So we need to be working out the range here. So October range is the biggest minus the smallest. 17 take away 2, let's try that again. 17 take away 2, which is 15. Let's work out the November range. So the November range is 18 take away 5. And 18 minus 5 is 13. So the October range was greater. And what does that mean? So therefore the spread of marks in October was greater. And we could also say marks in October were less consistent. So whenever you're seeing questions that involve the range, or whenever you see questions about consistency, that means it's linked to the range. The greater the range, the less consistent. The smaller the range, the more consistent the marks. Okay, let's move on to question number 6 now. So here we're trying to work out a percentage decrease. So when we're calculating any percentage change, whether it's a decrease or an increase, it's the difference divided by what it was originally multiplied by 100. So what is the difference? Well, the difference is 960 take away 810, which is 150. So it's 150 over what was it originally before it went down? Well, that's the higher value of 960 times by 100, and we get 15.625% less. Did Mia sell 18% fewer ice lollies? Well, no. she sold 15.625% fewer. Okay, so what we've got here is we've got a table where we just need to multiply the numbers at the top of the columns by the numbers on the rows. Now we need to remember that a negative multiplied by a positive is negative, but a negative multiplied by a negative is positive. So negative 9 times 2 minus 18, minus 5 times 4, negative times a positive is a negative. Minus 9 times minus 6, a negative times a negative is a positive, so that is 54. Negative 9 times by 8 is negative 72. 11 times 4, 44. 11 times negative 6 minus 66. 11 times 8 is 88. So the table is now completed. And Alex says the probability that the score is negative is 0.5, which means there is a 5% chance that the score is negative. So we don't even need to look at the table here. 0.5 is not the same as 5%. 0.5 is 50%. So that's why Alex is incorrect. Alex picks one card from each set. What's the probability that the score is 14? Okay, well there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16 different outcomes, and there's only one with 14 in it, so therefore the probability is 1 over 16. Question number 8. What we need to do first of all is work out the perimeter of this shape. So we've got 85, we've got another 85 up here. We know 30 is the radius, so the diameter is going to be 60, so it's going to be 60 along the bottom. And then we've got this curved part here. Now this is a semicircle. The circumference of a circle is 2 pi r, so half of 2 pi r is simply 1 pi r, or pi r, and the radius is 30, so this bit here is 30 pi. So all we need to do is type into our calculators 85 plus 85 plus 60 plus 30 times by pi. If you want to do the 30 times by pi and hit equals and then add the other stuff to it, then that's absolutely fine. And we get 324.24 ... So she thinks she will use more than 2/3 of the length of the mirror trim. Well, she's got 500 centimeters of mirror trim. So what is 2/3 of that? So 2/3 of 500, well that is take our total, divide it by the number on the bottom, multiply by the number on the top, and that comes to 333.3 recurring. So this is how much 2/3 is. She thinks she will use more than 2/3. Well, she is incorrect. She will use less. So we can just say she is wrong. And you can just, well, it doesn't need to be said, it's already been stated. She uses 324-ish centimeters of mirror trim, which is less than 2/3 because 2/3 is 333. Okay, question number 9. Write down the coordinates of point P. So remember, with coordinates, it's along the corridor and up the steps. So we're going along to 4 and then up to 6. So the coordinates are 4, 6. Carl plots another point. He joins the 4 points to make a parallelogram. So write down the possible set of coordinates for the 4th point. Now for me, the most likely place would be to plot it somewhere over here. Now the relationship between this point and this point will be the same as the relationship between this point and the point we're about to draw. So to go from here to here, I'm going down 1 and across 3. So if I do the same here, down 1 and across 1, 2, 3, there we go. Now we have a parallelogram. Okay, obviously it looks a bit better if you actually use a ruler. There we go. And we want to plot the point on the grid. And okay, write down a possible set of coordinates for this point here. So we are going across to 7 and up to 5. So the coordinates are 7, 5. Question number 10. Andy and his brother set up eco cabins. It takes 2 of them 6 days to set up 1 eco cabin. So 2 people take 6 days. And we want to know how long it will take 3 people. So we need to be careful here. We've got more people doing the job, so it's going to take less time. More people doing the work, job's going to get done quicker. Now, what we need to do is work out how long it would take one person. So if it takes 2 people 6 days, then one person takes 12 days. Now, if one person takes 12 days, we've got 3 people, so that is 3 times more people, so that will take 3 times less time. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So the answer here is 4 days. Okay, question number 11. So the car is 20,950. So what I'm going to do is work out what 1.25% of 20,950 is. So I need my percentage multiplier, which is this figure here divided by 100. So 0.0125 multiplied by 20,950. So that is a commission of 261.875. So we'll just round, that's approximately £261.88. Doesn't make sense to have 3 decimal places for a price. Okay, so he also gets a bonus of 50. So therefore it's going to be 261.88 plus £50, and that is £311.88, and that is bonus per car. So let's just take a look. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so it's Monday through to Saturday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So it's £311.88 per car. So on Wednesday and Friday he gets 311.88. On Tuesday, 0. Monday and Saturday he sells 2 cars, so that is 2 times 311.88, and that is £623.76. And again on the Saturday, 623.76, and on Thursday I believe it was 4, and 4 is double the Saturday, so you could just, if that's sitting on your calculator, just double that, or 4 times 311.88 is also fine, so that's going to be 1247.52. Now we want the median, which is the middle amount when these numbers are in order. So starts with 0, the next is 311.88, and another 311.88. Then we've got 2, 623.76, 623.76, and then the 1247. Okay, now I've not written it out in full because I know I'm going to be chopping this number off in a second. So to find the median, I'm going to cross one off on the left and one on the right. I'm going to do the same again until I get 1 or 2 in the middle. I've got 2 in the middle, and that's because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, an even number of values. So what I need to do now to work out the median is work out, well, what is halfway between these 2 values, and the way to do that, if I've got space, is simply to add them together. 311.88 plus 623. Can't read my writing there, 76, and then divide that by 2, and when that is done we get a total of £467.82. So that is the median commission, 467.82. Okay, and on to question number 12. So what I'm going to do here, first of all, is work out the area of the restaurant. So there's no magic formula for a weird shape like this, so we need to cut it into smaller shapes, which is a rectangle and a trapezium. So the rectangle, that's nice and easy. That is 10.2 multiplied by 4, that is 40.8 square meters. The trapezium, the formula is half of A plus B times by H. Okay, now A plus B are the parallel sides. So these are the parallel sides here, and H is the height. Now, first of all, we don't know the length of this side. Well, we know it's 10.2 from here to here, and it's 4.5 from here to here. So this side length is going to be the difference between 10.2 and 4.5. So that's our calculation. 10.2 take away 4.5, that is 5.7. So this is 5.7 centimeters. And for the height, we're going to do something similar. It's 7.7 from here to here, but 4 from here to here. In other words, 4 from here to here. So therefore, 7.7 minus 4, 3.7. So this part here is 3.7. So we can now go ahead and use the formula. So it's going to be a half of the sum of 5.7 plus 10.2. And then we're going to half it and then multiply that by 3.7. So 5.7 plus 10.2, that comes to 15.9. Divide that by 2, multiply by 3.7, and we should get our total, which is 29.415 square meters. So therefore, total area is going to be just add 40.8 to this figure here, and that comes to a total of 70.215 square meters. Now we know that a pack of tiles covers, let me just erase that, I can't see it very well now. Let's try again. 0.945. So how many 0.945s are there in this figure here? In other words, 70.215 divided by 0.945, and that equals 74.301 packs. Now obviously we can't buy 0.3 of a pack or 0.301 of a pack. If we buy 74 packs, then we're going to have a little patch that's not tiled, so we're going to have to call it 75 packs. So that's going to be 75 lots of 16 15s. So £16.15 multiplied by 75, and that comes to 1211.25, and that is our final answer. 1211.25, and that is the paper finished.